Hey everybody, Barry here again. They finally arrived. After an entire month to the day, my steels came in. Man, I've done a lot of complaining since September. Here we go. Look at this, man. Full steels kit, and it didn't come with a label or a sticker or a packing slip. It just came in a Ziploc bag in a box. So, you know, it's straight out of China. So here we go. They all have the turbulator holes, whatever that means. I know the purpose is to direct fluid away from the clutches when they're applied. So that's always good. And here we have the thinner clutch steels. And here are the thicker ones. I'm not sure which one goes where. I don't remember now. Obviously, I know this goes in the big drum over there. So anyway, today I'm going to start installing these and checking clearances. I've had my clutches in soak for a few days now, so obviously they're well saturated. A bunch of people have sent me paperwork and rebuild manuals on these, like the ADSG guide, and this one here was a colorized PDF, but of course it was a black and white printer. But that's perfectly fine. So I have all the specs on how to rebuild this thing. I'm just going to take that pressure out of the way. I'm going to give that a little bit of a clean. It's got some junkiness going on there. That's just because I put new lip seals in here and I had it laid down on a drum and it's a little bit dirty. I'll just clean that one up. I've been excessively compulsive about cleaning, and I don't want any dirt or junk inside this transmission. I would like for it to have the best chance of survival and not have to worry about contamination. Step 8. Install the clutch pack in the housing, starting with a steel plate, then alternating friction steel. So, steel plates are here, and the dovetail, which is this guy right here, sits in the one narrower groove in the housing. So, let's see which one is the narrower. Which I'm going to say is going to be this one. And yep, this is the narrow groove right here. So we start at the steel. I'm going to give this a little clean actually, because this just came right out of the package. Make sure it's nice and dry. No contamination. Now the narrowest one was right there, so you go there. Yeah, there we go. Notch fits in there really nice. Move my clutches over there. I'm not worried about the bench because I have holes drilled in it and I've got a container under the bench to collect any fluid. Alright, I've got a steel in there now. I just need to grab my clutches. That's these right here. So these are Raybestos red clutches. They're stage 1. And I'm just going to put a clutch and then alternate with a steel. And then a clutch. Another steel, and I've got 2 more clutches and 1 more steel, so that's obviously going to be a clutch there. And a steel. One more clutch, and then this pressure plate, or whatever you want to call it. I'm going to call it a pressure plate. So there's 2 notches that this fits in, just like that. And the snap ring is going to sit in the groove, just like that. So I do have clearance. Now I got to measure how much. Use a feeler gauge to check the clearance between the snap ring and the pressure plate. Clearance should be 40 thousandths to 100 thousandths, or I guess a tenth. If the clearance is wrong, change pressure plate to bring clearance into specs. These are new steels and new clutches, so if I find that it's too tight, then I can just grab one of my old steels and put in, and maybe it'll be a little bit thicker. We'll measure that as we go. Now I can't find my big set of feeler gauges, so I guess we're going to have to go to the old school, little small baby ones. 40 to 100, so where are we at? What do I have? The thickest one is going to be this one here, is 32. So I definitely have 32. What's next to it? 32 and a 26 makes, what is that, 58? Well, if I push down on it a little bit, 58 is tight. .22 and 35 is 57. Actually, I'm not going to check on the end. I'm going to check out here on the edge. 20 and a 24 is 44. Okay, so I definitely have 44. 24 and 25 is 49. Okay, so I have 49. It actually feels like I got to push down just a little bit to get 49 thousandths in there, so it's probably 50. So that would be on the tighter side of 40 to 100, so this is fine. This is just fine. I'm just going to try to line up these teeth here the best I can, just to help me when I go to put it back together. Apparently taking out these clutches is better, so it says remove the clutch stack from the housing. This will make it easier to install the overrun clutch housing. Restack the fourth clutch during transmission assembly. So I'm just going to leave this assembled as it is for now. I'll let a little bit of that excess fluid drain off. Next we have this guy. So I have it assembled just so I wouldn't lose anything. And just going to pull that apart. So this one has this top face, and it has this hub, which has a plastic thrust washer and a brass thrust washer back there. Make sure you don't lose those. Just gonna lay you there. Now we have assembled. I've got the wavy plate left there. I'm gonna keep that one. I don't know if it's necessary for me to not have it there. If anybody has any issues or says 100% it's gonna break, just let me know. Install the clutch plate, starting with bottom steel, then the friction and so on. Finish with a friction plate. Now the thickness of this, I don't know if I have to use the thicker or the thinner ones. I need to figure that out actually. Got it figured out. I posted a short, and one of the commenters said that this is the forward drum, and I should be using 77 thousandths steels. So if I can get this guy to turn on, that's millimeters. That's not much good to us. And this one here is 80, I guess. Probably a little thicker. There we go. So I have the right steels, so I need to go steel. That one's not much good. Move my paper out of the way. Clutch. That's steel. Clutch. Another steel. Another clutch. I need to end off with a clutch. There's a steel. And the second last clutch. The last steel, and then the last clutch. And now, okay, so we got some compression there, that's good. Now. Make certain the top surface of the last friction installed in the drum is below the direct clutch hub seating ledge in the drum. Which, yep, I can see that. Lay different feeler blades on top of the last forward friction plate. Find which feeler blade or combination of blades ends up flush with the hub seating ledge. Add 10 thousandths to blade thickness to account for hub to snap ring clearance, and you have the forward clutch clearance. This kind of seems like guessing, but hey, I'm going to try it. The clearance spec is between 20 thousandths to 60 thousandths. Build this clutch to the loose side of the specification to ensure complete release when the clutch is not supposed to be applied. Okay, so my thickest blade was, I think it was actually 35 thousandths. That should be this one right here. Yep, that's 35. So I'm going to have to take this apart and make a big mess. There's 35 thousandths there. We definitely have more than 35. Actually, that's about 35 thousandths right there, with no pressure on it whatsoever. I can kind of push down that wave a little bit. And no doubt there is some fluid in the clutches. Yeah, it's about 35 thousandths. So you'll want to see a combined feeler blade thickness of between 25 to 50 thousandths. So that would make sense if I have 35 thousandths to the top of the washer. So let's just put this in place. Okay, my brass washer is still on there. I'm just gonna try to get this down into place. Try to line these clutches up. It's always fun. Last one. Now, here we go. Listen to this. Okay, that's the last one. Now I'm just going to lay my feeler gauge in right here and see if this bottoms out. Yep, and it bottoms out on the groove before it wants to contact that. So I definitely have 35 thousandths. And I have no problem at all getting my snap ring into place. So that's good. That's a good sign. Yep, we've got all metal there. Okay. So my clearance here looks good. I'm going to put this guy back together. That looks nice. Just going to dip a little more transmission fluid around there. I do have assembly lube on this, but I thought, well, you know, why not? Okay, that looks great. One tip I learned is the edge of the snap ring, don't have it here where it's open, have it like over this way so that the edges of the snap ring are touching meat. I know that sounds weird, but actually touching the metal. Now, what difference it makes? Good question. But it makes sense in my head that you'd want the edge of the snap ring on metal and not on a gap. That way they're compressed right down to the end. And that's free. So I would call that good. That's another one assembled. Very nice. Alrighty, and here is the direct. Just gotta get that snap ring out. Now we have the thicker rings. I'm gonna lay my instructions back there. Steel first. Clutch. Steel. And a clutch. And we're going to go again until we end off again with a clutch. There's another clutch. And a steel. Clutch. There's our last steel. And the last clutch is down here. Oh, there we go, make a miss, Barry. That's our last clutch there, and then the pressure plate. And now I've got to check the clearance down there, which is going to be all kinds of fun. And clearance should be 50 to 80 thousandths. Build this one to the loose specification. And consider 60 to 70 thousandths. What it says here is if it's too tight, the clutches will engage before the reverse band engages and can make really hard engagement. I'm going to try to set my band up tighter anyway, so if this comes out 60 thousandths, I'm fine. All right, now I'm just going to put this one on here to try to line it all up. We're still on a clutch here, I think. There we go. All right, so we're good there. Everything is lined up. Now, how I'm going to do this is the next question. So if I went 32 and a 25, I may have to bend these. I don't really like doing that, but okay, I've got no problem at all. 32 and 25 is, what's that, 57 thousandths? There we go. And I lost one. Solid job, Barry. A bunch of people have asked for a build sheet, and I think every day one or more people asks again. So I will absolutely have a build sheet on this entire transmission. And not necessarily a build sheet. I'll have an entire video overrun on the entire build. Okay, so I know that is over 60 thousandths. Okay. And I keep losing things. There we go. There's that one. There's the 35 on a 25. That would be 60. So let's see. Let's go with 32 and a 35. That'd be 67 thousandths. Everything is so slippery. Yep, no problem at all. Sits right down in place. So that's 67 thousandths. And it says, wait, did I lose another one? 35. Where did it go? Oh, there it is, okay. $32, $35, $67. All right, so I have here a 15, a 35, and a 30. That would be 80 thousandths. So I'm just going to stack that, and I think I'll have no issues with that. That's the max. And yep, I'm pushing down to get it to get the pressure plate down on the land. So I know I have less than 80 thousandths, and I have more than, what was it, 67 thousandths. So I would call that right on. As long as it's less than and more than, that means it's right in the middle. How scientific, Barry. So that's another piece assembled. Just gonna pop that down. I'm gonna try to do the same thing here where I get the ends of the rings down into the groove, and yep, that's fine. Cool. Now, just gonna pop that one down there again. Not that it matters at all. Yep. That's another one assembled. Now, got two left. This is going so well. Now, I might have messed up, and it kills me to say that, but I read in the instructions, don't install these two rings until this is fully assembled. The worst part now is I need to take it apart and pull these seals out through. That is not ideal. But it's all I can do right now. I'm sure they'll be fine, but yes, there is a chance that they could get damaged. I'm really gonna hope they don't. If they do, well, I guess I'm gonna have to buy a new set of seals. Really hoping they don't get damaged. Okay, they're coming out fine. No, that's good. They didn't drag along the splines, so that's good. I would definitely call that a good thing. All right. So I'm just going to lay that right on top of... So I've just got my input shaft laid right here so it can't roll away and get damaged. Now, pull off that. Here's the sprag, or whatever that thing is called. I'm going to call it a sprag. It's a one-way clutch anyway. Another snap ring. Now, here is the top pressure plate. Nice thick boy. And there's no wave plate in this one, so I just need to make 100% sure now that there isn't supposed to be. Stack the clutches in the drum. Start with a steel, and I can see this thing with the holes, that piston, so that makes sense. Followed by pressure plate, snap ring. Stack should contain 3 frictions, 3 steels. Okay, that's going to be the little ones. Here is a steel. Beautiful. Look at that, man. It's like a glove. Oh man, I almost got transmission fluid on my brand new pants. Cass would have killed me. I just bought them yesterday. What do I do with these things? Here is another steel. Friction number 2. Steel. Friction number 3, and now that is 1, 2, 3. Yep. The pressure plate and the snap ring. This one is stiff. That one is super stiff. Okay, now the clearance should be between 35 and 95 thousandths. If the clearance is wrong, replace the pressure plate to bring the clearance into specs. Well, I don't have another pressure plate, so the clearance is going to have to be in spec now, I guess. I was going to line them up, but this will have to do. Oh, I got lots of clearance. Look at that. All right, so I guess I could check the clearance. No, I don't want to do it to the snap ring. So let's take, where are my thick ones? 18 and 20 is 38. Oopsie daisies. Oh, this should make it easier, shouldn't it? Don't scratch up the frictions, just want to make some space. I'll stop. Okay, yep, no problem at all with 38. Look at that, it fits right in there. I'll take another 12. That'll be 50. Yep, 50 thousandths. So 35 to 95. Another 10 will be 60. As long as I don't catch one of those little check wheels there. Okay, so it doesn't seem to want to take the extra 10, so we're between 50 and 60 thousandths. So I will call that beautiful. Just awesome. Again, super scientific, Barry. So that one is good. Now I'm going to try to get these frictions lined up just so. You would assume that having new frictions and new steels, you wouldn't have to, be nice. You wouldn't have to check clearances, but I mean, it's always definitely a good idea to double check. Now, and going there would be nice. Oh, there we go. Look at that. So I can turn it counterclockwise. I can't turn it clockwise. Yep, we're on metal there. All right, thought for a second there that I forgot to hit record. I almost cried. So this one is back in place and there's no play there at all. No, I'm just going to dip my input shaft so that those seals don't get damaged. Next time I build one of these, I'll definitely do it in that order. Or in the correct order, I should say, but I had my seal kit and I was waiting on steels, so, you know, what do you do, right? Mint. Alright, and now snap ring. Stay. Now snap ring, don't fly off into oblivion. I'm so stoked to be getting this thing put together. It is absolutely amazing. All right, man. So we have 4 out of 5 of the clutches and steels assembled. 4th, forward, the other one, oh yeah, direct, and I don't know what this one's called, but essentially it's the input shaft. Those are all assembled. So what I'm going to do now that I have all these done, I'm going to go and assemble the rear half of the transmission. That way I can check the clearance on these clutches down here. Okay, I've got the output shaft here already assembled. And this gets heavier every time. There we go. That's good. Snap ring is already in, so I can put in a center support. Just make sure this one is centered well enough. And make sure it goes down into place and it's off. Now, which way do you go? This way. There we go. Now we're going to get it. Might take a minute. Oh, it's still off. Isn't that funny? Must go into this notch, I guess. There we go, now we got it. Okay, and the big snap ring with the bevel facing out and the opening at 9 o'clock, pointing at this dowel here. All my tools are incredibly slippery. I'm just gonna pop that one down, make sure it gets down into place. That's good. And now this one, all the way down. Okay, I checked Ryan Blazer's video just to get some reference points, and he said, don't forget this guy. That's the wave plate that goes down. I absolutely would have forgotten that one, so I'm glad I checked. And then it said to alternate between steels and clutches. And there will be 4 steels, 4 clutches. Then you start with a steel up against the wave plate. Now this right now is for checking clearances. And I seem to have a steel that doesn't want to go in. There you go. I'm going to be checking clearances here right now. This is all going to have to come back out again later on. But for the sake of the video and the sake of me checking everything. Now, why does this one have a dovetail? Why do they all have a dovetail? Isn't that funny? I think I'm gonna have to check that and make sure that it's actually supposed to. Then here's the one, the big pressure plate with the solid on it, and that won't fit in any other position except for this. Look at that. Now that I have the pressure plate put in, I need to install my intermediate snap ring. That's this guy here. I got a spiral lock one. There's apparently a big issue with the intermediate snap ring being like really weak. And it's very thin, like this way. There's basically no meat there. And then you look at this one. It is double as thick, which is just nuts. So I'm gonna install this one because obviously I'm checking clearances right now. Now, this is a brand new snap ring. I have not tried to install it yet. So is it gonna work? Good question. I haven't actually gotten this far yet, so. Now, how to install a spiral snap ring when there's no outer land to try to get it into. Okay, so let's pop you down there and try to spiral it down. This is not easy work. My hands are right in the way. I apologize for that, but what do you do? Now, really, I should have it out here so I can get at the piece with the screwdriver. Oh, there we are. This is going to be a treat to try to remove, isn't it? Get in there. Well, I don't think there's any worries about the snap ring trying to come apart, come out, I should say. Well, I think I'm getting there. I think so. There we go. It is working. Look at that. So I've got to kind of spiral it around. I know that's not really easy to explain, but it's a spiral lock snap ring. And yeah, I just gotta spiral it into place. So get it down past all the notches. Basically push it down like this and get it in place. Look at that, dude. I got it. Neat. And it's completely encircling all the clutches. Now let's see what kind of clearance I have. Okay. I do have clearance. Let's see. Ow. Yep, I have some clearance. Now my instructions that are full of transmission fluid says, use a feeler gauge between the clutch pressure plate and the snap ring. Clearance should be between 40 thousandths and 110 thousandths. Dude, they give you a big range of clearance. So that's good. So let's grab, this is a 35 and a 15, that'll make 50. Let's see. Yep, 50 fits in there with all kinds of clearance. Make sure it's not gone between the two snap rings. Yep, we can go right out there with 50. Sorry if it's not been focused this whole time. iPhones and all. 50 and another 30 is 80. And 80 is tight. 80 is very tight. So we're between 50 and 80 thousandths. So to be honest, I don't need to go any further than that. I don't need to dial it into the 1,000th because it's just got to be between 40 and 110. All right. So our clearances are excellent. I would like to know how you guys feel about the end of the snap ring being right here. Mainly because I can take the end of the snap ring and kind of do this with it. So should I have it over here in the notches? To be honest, I feel like I should. I can still, grab it from right there and pull out on it, so I don't see that being a big issue. But I don't like how loose that is out there. So I think I am going to change that. I've never dealt with a spiral lock washer before, or a spiral lock snap ring, I should say. So it would be good to know. Now let's see how this thing is to remove. Oh geez, that's not bad at all. Look at that, out it comes. All right, man, this is looking really good. Got a bunch of progress done in this video, and I'm so happy. But I'm gonna call it a day here because my two bands should be here tomorrow in, well, video time. And after that, I should be able to pretty much go for final assembly. Now that's not going to be in one video because I have to final check my rear end play, I have to final check my front end play, I have to check clearance on the reverse band. I'm not sure about the forward or fourth band or whatever that is, whether that has to be checked like the end play or not, but I'll look into that too. That might be another adjustment. So I've got lots of work to do, a bunch of videos coming, so stay tuned. And also I will have an entire breakdown of every part and what it cost me to build this transmission as it sits. And that'll be kind of an exciting one. It'd be nice to see what it costs to build an 800 horsepower 4L80 in 2025. So thanks for checking out the channel. Thanks my YouTube members, patrons, and subscribers. If you want to check out my Patreon, it's patreon.com/stationroadratrods. YouTube members link is down here. And thanks for watching. Have a great day, everybody.